I'm going to listen only.
Yes, we are here tonight to celebrate Veterans Day with one of my favorite veterans. And tonight I'm so excited to introduce you to James Anderson. And I want to tell you a little bit about him, but I just want to say, first of all, thank you for joining us this evening and welcome to Strategic Learning Alliance's membership community webinar where we get to share interesting topics every Tuesday night and then have a little discussion after the share time. So anyway, just want to say welcome to James Anderson. He and I first met probably 2.5 years ago, and it was by phone. And he was really interested in becoming a certified professional coach. And he wanted to use his GI Bill, and it wasn't possible. I didn't have the accreditation to be able. You really have to be like a university or a college in order to have the ability to put a veteran through the program. So anyway, I wasn't a university or college, and James made a lot of phone calls to see if we could figure out how to make it happen, and we just couldn't. So I said, James, thank you so much for all your hard work in researching that, and it was something that I've always had a passion for and wanted to do. And I put James through the program in exchange for his efforts. And so he became a certified professional coach, and he's somebody that I know who takes actions and just really gets things done. So it was a real privilege this last weekend when I had the opportunity to meet James in person. And so this is a picture. We were at the Choosing Leadership Weekend up in Seattle, Washington, and it was a really great event, but probably the best part, I got to meet James in person after 2.5 years. So without any further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce you, have James come on and say hello. And James, I'm going to go ahead and switch you to be the presenter, so we'll be watching your slides, okay?
Okay, got it. Wow, man. Uh, Thank you, Barbara, and thank you everybody who's online with us right now. And one thing I want to make sure understand the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day, because a lot of people have confusion about that. Now, Veterans Day is celebrate for the services of all U.S. military veterans. Memorial Day is the day of remembrance of men and women who died while serving. So I just want to bring it up front. Now, what we're going to talk about today, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you all a little bit about my transition story. Can y'all see these slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm going to tell you about my transition story first, and then we do transition assistance program, dealing with stress, and creating a career catalog, identifying the strengths and weaknesses of military experience, and determine work preference, the finance part of it. Then we go into CDS and transition assistance. So we're going to try to cover a lot of stuff in an hour, hopefully. Now, when I got out of the military back in, which one of these I need to click on, Barbara? This one?
Yeah. Well, no, wait. Yeah, that'll be fine. Sorry. That'll be fine, James. Okay. If it pops back up, I think the top one will help make it go away for good.
Okay, got it. So my transition story is when I got out of the military, we had this thing called ACAP, and it's called Army Career Alumni Program, which every soldier had to go through. And when I went through that, I had done my 30 years in the military, so I was saying, man, I know what I'm doing. I already got me a job lined up, and so this is just a waste of my time. However, when you put your trust in people, you might be disappointed, because when I got out, I said, okay, the people told me I'm gonna come see them when I got out. They got a job for me, and they said, no, we don't have a job for you right now. So which one to push? Top one?
Change the color. Yeah, the top one.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Oh
Okay.
gosh, and then click resume slideshow right there.
Resume. Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, got it. Man,
All
see, you own it. So I went to see these people once I got out, try to find a job, and then that didn't work. Now, you might not know nothing about stress, but when you're talking about you got a house, you got a family, and you're trying to say, thought you had a job, don't know how much money you're going to get when you first get out. That we're going to talk about the finance thing later. So the stress just started picking up.
Yeah.
So I did something that I knew I didn't want to do. I took the post office test. Knew
Oh.
I didn't want to do that. so, so thinking nothing of it. About right before I got in the military, the postal master called me up and said, "Hey, I want to do an interview with you." I said, "Oh man, this ain't what I want to do." I went to the interview, got the job, and I said, "So once you got the job, to start working a little bit." And you know, when we talk about later on, we're gonna talk about going after your passion, not your pension. That was not my passion. So I worked only there for 3 months. Then I resigned from that position. Then after that, what you're gonna hear later on that most veterans and soldiers talk about when they're getting out of the military to civilian life, I want to go to school. So I went to school for approximately 3 years to get a degree in counseling. So it took me from 2009 when I started to 2012 to get me a degree in counseling because I'm not the I just take one class at a time once you get past that. So I did that for a while. Then I became a voc rehab work study person, and I did that for about 9 months. Then I got the job that I have now as the Army Wounded Warrior Advocate, which we work with the severely wounded, ill, and injured soldiers and their family members to get our benefits deserved. Now, with all that being said, I know the stress was in there, and all this take a lot of time. So the first thing we're going to talk about, since that's my side of the story, anybody got a question about my story yet?
Oh, I haven't seen any questions come up, so I think we're good. Very
All right.
interesting. Wow.
Now, with the Army, the Army grappling strength, we're going down. We're going to have 409,000 by the end of fiscal year 15, which is October of this year. Well, yeah, October of 2015. We'll be down to 490, and you notice the numbers go down to 450 by 2017. No, well, really. And we're going to separate about 407,000 people when in-state come up. So with that being said, now I talk to Soldiers for Life people, and they say we would have the Army would be transitioning about 130 people in the next 5 years. So, and then about a million, see more than a million are expected to do that within the next 10 years. So with that being said, it's going to be a lot of stress on people getting out of the military. For example, I have people come in my office all the time saying, what I'm going to do now? What I'm going to do now? And the only thing I can tell them first off is what Barbara always tell me, what do you want to do when you grow up? So I remember, hey, Bob, you got good lines. I tell them. so I tell them that because and other things she told us, why, what's the why in your life? If you know the why in your life, then and I also try to tell them not to go after the money. Don't try to run after the money job. Get a job that you love doing, because you might be doing it the rest of your life. So that's one thing I try to tell the people. Now, dealing with the stress, I'm telling you, it's a lot of stress going on. Because one thing that I deal with is the ones who are medical retiring right now, and I get some of the ones off of Fort Knox who are just normal retiring. And the ones who medical retiring, they come in my office because the thing they're saying is that they wasn't planning on getting out right now. They want to do that 20 years and get their retirement check, but it didn't play out that way because of something that happened while we was deployed or where they were deployed, something like that. But one thing I try to tell them, just like the slide say, recognize stresses surrounding your job search and personal life, because it's a lot of things about when people get out in the military that the family really don't understand. We are a tight group of people, And once you get out the military, that type of group of people, they're still there, but you feel like you're not connected to them anymore.
Mm.
So once that happens, you're thinking it's just you. And that's why I try to tell them, no matter what goes on, you can always call me. So we call that a battle buddy.
Yeah.
It's on the website. So, and then the second one, develop a job search plan. And that's where the SMART goals come into play. We talk about it later on, is that, you know, it got to be specific. It got to be measurable, obtainable, realistic, and time-bound, or some would say tracking, but time-bound, because you don't have a strict plan what you're going to be doing, what's going to happen, you're going to drift. Oh, by the way, if you know you're getting out of the military, if you know you're going to retire, you can do this 24 months before your retirement date. But most people, 24 months out, they're not thinking about retirement. They're just thinking about doing a job, keep on trucking. Most people wait until about 6 months out, and then they're starting to rush. This is where all the stress comes into play. It's trying to rush to get something. They say, I know I can get a job, and that's what we're going to talk about later on, the strengths and challenges for when you try to get out. I know I can get a job because I've been doing this all these years. The employers out there waiting on me to show up, and realistically, that's not how it works. It takes time. All right. So, yes, now, the exercise part, maintain exercise and nutrition regimen. The thing is, you know, if you just, a lot of people exercise all through the military, you're exercising, and once you get out, you say, I'm done with this exercise and stuff. I'm just going to get out. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and that's it. But realistically, if you just stop, if you keep exercising like I do every day, it keeps your positive attitude about things. It lets you know that, hey, I still can do this, and hang around positive people. That's one thing a lot of people don't do. They try to get in a little cubby hole and stay there. But I tell them, just don't do that. Come out and hang out with real people that positive, like read books, all that different kind of stuff. And maintain religious beliefs, social, family customs, and daily routine. And the last one, learn to use relaxation techniques like breathing all the time. Just stand up. Just stand up sometimes, especially at work. I have to stand up sometimes. And maintain support system, establish life plans, career goals, schedule time for yourself. If it's nothing but just walk around the block, read a book, just as long as you're doing something for you. And laugh sometimes like me and Barbara do all the time. So, and communicate openly and honestly with others. But the main thing is you tell people you're scared, because you are scared. And go back to that. For example, the other day I had a fellow come in my office, and he said, you know, I never thought I'd be in your office, because, you know, men, I ain't got nothing against men, but they think they got everything wrapped up tight. They know what they're doing. But I try to tell them, look, we got other resources out there to help you. And one of them is that CDS, the IE, and that modern resume. So he came to my office and said, somebody told me I need to see you because I've been looking for a job for 6 months, and I haven't even got close to an interview. Wow. So what he did was he came to my office. We did the first part of CDS. We did the soft skills, and he got the modern resume done. We sent it off to a lady named Jessica, and she looked it over. She's an HR specialist. She looked it over, sent it back to us. He put it on LinkedIn, and no more than 2 weeks after he did that, he had a job offer and had a job. And by the way, the good thing about him having that job was that he wrote me a letter saying thank you, because he said, hey, they really looked at that modern resume. So he was honest enough and open enough to say he needed help. Okay? Any questions so far?
I don't see any questions.
Really? Oh, goodness.
You're doing a great job. I am really impressed with this presentation. I guess you've been helping veterans for a long time, is what I'm guessing from this presentation.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And just like this here, back in the day, it was Army Career Alumni Program. They changed the name to Soldiers for Life Transition Assistance Program 2014. They want to try a new name for it, because they say Soldier for Life. That's true. And Transition Assistance Program. And I sit in some of her classes. Her name is Miss Connie Campbell, and I sit in her class with her, and she goes the same stuff that we go over, and really when I talk to soldiers, I emphasize, look, I'm here to help you, realistically. I'm not just saying this. When you leave here, then you can always call me. And that's the Marines one, the Navy, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. See, so all of us got different things, but we're all doing the same thing, trying to transition people out of the military. By the way, with that being said, the CEO of Starbucks came on television today. Even though we heard it when I was in Seattle, he came on Starbucks. He came on television today and said Starbucks is going to hire 10,000 veterans. Now, with that being said, if the veterans really want a job, the job's out there. But you know, about say 50% of veterans, the first thing they want to do is go back to school, and that's the part we be talking about when we was at that conference about, you know, trying to get that 4-year degree compared to getting a certification so you can go to work now. Right. So that's the part of that we got to change that mindset of people here in the future, because if they don't change that mindset, everybody focus on that 4-year degree, so you're 4 years behind realistically once you get out, because we're not getting no younger.
That's right.
Well, yeah, Barbara is. The rest of us getting older. you
stay. And besides that, you've already had so much training and you've developed so many skills when you're in service, and you know, that work experience is so valuable. It's I mean, just like you're teaching a class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Experience is what is really powerful. People don't change by intellect alone, it's the experience, right? So you have such, I don't know, so many different kinds of experiences that you're able to bring that back, and that alone is a very high value that you're bringing to any business or company that you work with. You're already bringing like 4 years of experience.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're going to talk. That's called some of the strengths and challenges of a person transiting out. All right. And then first off, we're going to talk about the military. We're going to talk about some of the career catalogs that we're supposed to have. You know, your service records, and your personal identification, work experience, education, training. So all the things that we have, and we put in our catalog. There you go. That's it. That's right. Yeah, I'm still on it, man. I'm right where I need to be. So, and here's the part that the strengths, like you just saying, ma'am, leadership, training, ability to rules and structures, ability to learn and advance with advanced training, and familiarity with records. See, everything we do, all our strengths, is that. Wait, where that? Oh, I got it here. I got it. I'm on it. Especially leadership training. Military, we train all the time. All the time. Everything from you know, from teaching them how to march, to get the weapons right, and stand in formation. We always train it, and we usually start with the lowest person. And the reason we do that, because one of these days, the older people will be stepping to the side, and those young people will be moving on. So that's the way the military works in a sense. We always want the young people to learn this stuff, so we know when we're sitting out rocking chairs back at the house, wondering how this military is doing, we know it's in good hands because we train those people. All right. Now, next one. Next one. There you go.
Do you have a couple of, well, a question and a comment?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Carolyn says, the experience in the military has to be transitioned to civilian experience, and that many do not know how to do that. And I just want to share there are a couple tools available, and we'll talk about that after. And Jacqueline says, do soldiers have a choice as to what they train for while they are enlisted?
Yes. Yes. Matter of fact, there's different military occupational specialists, and you figure out which one we take an aptitude test when you first come to the military, and then once you take that test, they say, okay, you're good at this. Then the recruiter says, yep, we're going to put you in this field. What you think about it? You say yes or no. Then they say, nope, I don't want that one. They say, this is another one you can go into, and sooner or later they'll come up with one of those skills, military occupation skills they want to do.
Okay.
So that's how they do that part. And then as time goes on, if they feel like they're very smart, or they might even have a degree already, and they want to go to, you call it, green to gold, and that means you go from being the enlisted side to the officer side. So you can do that also. You see what I'm saying? So that's another way that a lot of military people that are pretty smart. We have people make the rank of Sergeant First Class, which that's the E7. That's kind of senior NCO. Make that rank, then they'll change over to be an officer because they're just as smart.
Nice. So the next part of her question was, when they are training for while they're enlisted, are they at that same time considering how they're going to transition into civilian life, or is that not something that you start thinking about until you're about ready to? Well, you said 2 years. You start planning
Right.
2 years, right?
Right. 2 years. You normally try 2 years before you. Right now, to retire from the military is 20 years. All right. So 2 years at 18-year mark, a lot of people try to start getting their transition plan.
Okay.
I did 30 years, so I didn't start mine really until I was at the 28-year mark. Realistically, I didn't start at all until it was time to get out, because I was on the road the whole time.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
But because I thought I had somebody had my back, which they didn't have my back. But like I try to tell people, like at some at the end of this here, you succeed if you just keep on trying. You got to try to figure out what you want to do and get a lot of expertise help. A lot of men don't like help. They don't like that. They're gonna try by themselves, because there's a lot of things we can do for them. Because I know now. So if I know, why not pass it on? Can't take it with me, so I might as well pass it on. And that's what I'm gonna do. So, any more questions, ma'am? I can't see the question.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's my job.
Okay, yeah. I like this. I like this.
Okay, Carolyn says she just left a position of family assistance coordinator, and she found that so many service members do not realize they need to start working their resumes before they get out. So that might not be that well published, or maybe it's just not realized when it's, communicated 2 years out, right?
Right, but the idea behind that resume, because I was talking to Ms. Campbell yesterday about this, and the Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program, the one thing they do with that resume is just really checking the block. We call those recruitment resumes, and I try to tell them between that and the modern resume, which a lot of people don't understand, is that is executive resume, and it puts more of emphasis on who you are. Most people don't know who they are. They really don't. All they do is put down on the resume what they have done. That's it.
Okay.
So they can't brag on themselves saying, I have done this. I have lead this team, that team. They can't do that right now because they never learn how to brag. We're more modest people.
Yeah.
And we rather let somebody else talk about us. We don't want to talk about ourselves that much. So that's why the transition part of it, ma'am, in the sense of resume, they're 100% right. Because if everybody got on that modern resume, though, I think we could change a lot of people's lives quick.
Well, that's the goal that we have. That's one of the big. We talked about this weekend at our leadership conference about WIGs, and WIGs are wildly important goals. And one of our wildly important goals is to get a lot of veterans coming through the career development system so that we can get them out there working in a position that they love.
Yes, ma'am. That's a fact. All right. Any more questions, ma'am?
No, that's it for now.
All right. So, yeah, we have number 7, ability to work under pressure and meet deadlines. We do it all the time. And, yeah, under pressure, systematic planning, emphasize safety. Because safety is something we always stress in the military, because, if somebody's out, that person has a certain job to be doing every day. If not there, then somebody else got to do it for them. And we got people that can do it, because we are all trained in somebody else's job now, because we want to make sure if you be gone, let's say, team members and a team leader. If the person is gone, we still can keep on trucking without missing a beat.
Right.
And the ability to give and follow directions. And that's a good strength with military people, because they always can, like they say, you got to be a good follower before you can be a good leader. So we can give a lot of instruction to people, but we can follow instruction. When we get to a new job, like when I first got to my job, my boss used to call me all the time saying, do this, this, this. I can follow instruction, just like she said it. So now I got more. Where's it go? Oh, there you go. The drug free, because we take we take urinalysis very frequently. So at least you're getting that's why a lot of people like military soldiers, veterans to come to their jobs. They know most of them are drug free and maturity. They mature. Most of them got security clearance. They can take initiative, and they can solve any kind of problem. And yeah, and then we don't need that much supervision, and that's what a lot of people like. And one thing I've talked to a lot of soldiers that transition out in the military is that I hate to say it, a lot of supervisors are and we're going to talk about the myths in a minute, are afraid of soldiers coming out into the force, coming out to civilian jobs. And the reason behind that, they're afraid they're going to take their job. And just like I say, we're very humble. We're not after nobody else's job. We just want to get a normal paycheck and keep on trucking. That's all. I don't want nobody else's job. but a lot of as we call weak leaders out there, and we come in with our all our attributes and characters, and a lot of people are afraid of that. So just something I wanted to bring up. Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, man. Next video. and some of the challenges that we have is that's what it's all about right there. Communication about who we are, what we're going to do, stereotype. Oh, by the way, I was talking to a veteran tonight, and the stereotype is live and well about post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury. Everybody think like they see on television, as soon as you got it, you're going to come out to the job site and going to shoot up everybody and kill them, and that's not true. That's not true. You're talking about that. And the rail, not Pacific Rail Union, whatever that thing's called. We have a lot of veterans in charge there, but the first question they would ask a lot of the soldiers, which they shouldn't ask them, is that a lot of them medical retiring. What was your injuries when you medical retired? And once they say PTSD or TBI, they say we'll get back with you, and they usually don't, because everybody's afraid that something gonna go wrong with them. All of them not severe, because what you see on television, now everybody think that happened to everybody. It's not the same. So, and then, yes, ma'am.
That's very true. Not everybody is the same, and not everybody sees action, and so yeah. Well, let's get people employed doing what they love. Here.
Right. and that's where once we get off, because I have a lot of veterans that come to see me now. With this, going to go through the CDS part of. We're going to talk about that in a minute too, about the start, because I'm like coaching them through the whole thing, because I noticed one thing: if you coach them, they're more responsible to stay with it. But if you turn them loose, they'll be out there for months trying to get the thing done. So I've learned from that, and I learned that Skyping with them is pretty good.
Nice.
It really is. Yeah, I learned that. So, and the other thing that most soldiers, when they get out, unrealistic expectations. And what I'm saying about that is that they want this high-paying position, and they don't get it, and they're like, oh man. Then they got to lower their expectation a little bit, because they make a lot of money in the military, so they think they'll make that same kind of money on the outside. It's not there. They got to start a little bit slower.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Unless unless, remember, networking is alive and well, unless you know somebody at a certain place. Then you might be able to get that kind of job. Other than that, the average person, they don't know nobody, they're trying to get a job, and then they want to ask for $70,000 starting pay, and it ain't happening. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But all right. And then the last one. All right. Now, what to do? And this part here is we talk about this during the transition, the military transition. The book I have is and we say, all right. Question we ask them. We say I enjoy working with. They say data, information, idea, work, words, numbers. Like working with people, things like machine, equipment. So we try to ask them these questions so they give an idea. By the way, we have another program called Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment, called VRE, where they can go to see this person before they get out in the military, and what they would do is try to give them an assessment to see what they really like doing. The problem with that is a lot of soldiers saying, I got this. You know how they are. I got this.
Yeah.
And so they won't go see nobody until about 3 months after they get out, don't have a job, can't find nothing. Then they'll say, hey, I need some help. So I say, I know you come back sooner or later. Just a little matter of time. So they will come back. Now, the other one prefer working, or say indoors, outdoors, some inside, some outside. Some people say, I'm not going outside. I've been outside all this time, going all these different deployments. I sleeping in the sun, sleeping in the moon, cold. So they don't want that no more.
Yeah.
Like me, I want to be inside. I want to stay inside. So I have learned from that. All right. So they want to work with a company with less than 100 employees, 100 to 500 employees, with 100 with 500 or more employees, or do they want to own their own business? See, all those questions we have to ask them, it gives them something to think about. Okay? Give them something to think about. Now, and we talk about this at the conference also. I would like to work in a large city, medium-sized city, town, suburb, small town, rural area. I hate to tell you this, it really don't make no difference where they want to work. It's wherever the spouse is happy. See, it's wherever the significant other person is happy. Because remember, most of the time the person who's doing all the working is gone. The other person got to stay at the house and talk to all those people. So wherever, like a lot of the men will go wherever their spouse want to go. And the reason they do that because she's gonna be happy. She be wherever she's gonna be comfortable at. And that's why I ended up in the great state of KY, because this is where my significant other, one each, wife said, this week we're going to stay, this is where we're at, even though I'm from South Carolina. So that's something to think about. Now, say, I prefer a job that involves a lot of travel, some travel, or no travel. And I had to get a job that has no travel. And just for me, because when I got in the military, I traveled 6 days a week. I left on Monday. I came back Sunday night. Saw the family on Sunday. I came back Saturday night. Saw the family on Sunday. Left again on that Monday. I did that for 4 years.
Wow.
Because everybody thought my commander at the time, she was a female. Everybody thought realistically we were a couple because we stayed together so much. Because we had to go out and see different things, so I was always with her. So I know her greatly. I know her very well. But that's why I say now I don't do no traveling that much unless because we talked about this the other day. She said, hey, I thought we were going to do it. I said, hey, look, this is something I got to do right now. I'm having fun doing this because this program is going to take off, and when it takes off, hey, I might be in Washington State. You never know. I want a job that requires interaction with a lot of people, some interaction with people, very little interaction with people, or no interaction with people at all. 'Cause some people, they're rather they're rather just sit in a little cubicle sometimes, don't do nothing, just type on the computer, they be happy. But see, all these people got to know all this stuff, because they don't know it. Then once they get ready to get out, they're going to try to find just a job. And when we get to the financial part of this, you're going to see that it's a lot of variables about when you want to get this job and how much money you want to make. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I got another story about that in a few minutes too. I would like work duties that frequently change, vary from day to day, are fairly routine, never change. See, that's something else you got to understand. Now, I'm willing to work overtime as much as possible, frequently, occasionally, never. And that's the way some people are. All these little questions here, a person have to answer, and once they know all this stuff, they can figure out what type of job they really want, because a lot of this is trying to guide them in the way that they need to go, so they won't be jumping from job to job to job like people are doing right now. Because young people, if they don't like one job, they'll change. Just like their phone numbers. If they don't like one phone number, somebody call too much, they'll change it. My daughter changed her phone number at least twice a month. Too many people called her. So I'm like, man. Because older people, we won't keep the same phone number for life, but young people, they don't care about that. They change it all the time. Now, yes, ma'am. For the right job, yes, ma'am. For the right job, I am not willing to relocate, not able to relocate, willing to relocate, eager to relocate. But for most military people, they not willing to relocate is probably the right answer, because the government will move you one last time once you got the military to wherever your home record is. So, and usually most people go back to their home record when they leave, which I didn't do that. Oh, and I stayed right here. Okay, I like it here. I want to work full-time, part-time, temporary. So all the stuff that we talking about, because a lot of soldiers be getting into voc rehab or using the 9/11 GI Bill. Which, Barbara, I really appreciate you getting that done, because I'm telling you, now the door is open for a lot of people to use these programs, and you're going to see shortly, once they figure out that they can get a certificate in something, here they come. They're coming.
That's great.
My job, I'm a promoter. I got my certificate on. I put my certificate on the wall yesterday. So.
Oh, nice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great.
So now the monthly transition budget worksheet. Now, when we talk about all this stuff here, before I go into this here, I had a person come to my office yesterday, and he was in a panic mode. He said, "Look, the finance people told me this," and I mean he was yelling. I said, "All right, just calm down. It'll be all right. Don't worry." But when people panic, for some reason, they feel volume makes a difference. They don't, but they feel like volume makes a difference. Because he came in yelling. I didn't do nothing to him. But he wanted to yell at somebody. So I let him yell. I just said, "Calm down. We can do this." Because he said, "I just bought a brand new house, and with the money they talking about I'm going to get, I can't even afford the house." I said, "Hold up. Don't worry about that. Hold up. Slow down." So because when most people get out of the military, they worry about the house, how they're going to pay the mortgage, how they're going to pay all these bills, because realistically, you don't really know exactly how much you're going to get when you get out. You can guesstimate, but you really don't know.
Wow.
Until you get your first check. When you get your first check, sigh of relief. That's why most people try to get a job before they get their first check, so that at least they have some kind of income they know going to be consistent for a little bit. Like I did. I didn't like the job, but I wanted to make sure I had enough money to take care of the family once I got out of the military.
Right.
So, yeah. So we talk about the housing part. We're talking about rent or mortgage, heating and electric bill, telephone, other cable, water. You got all these different things you got to think about when you start talking about housing. Now, the next one was the food. Talking about the groceries, or restaurant meals. Most people stop going to the restaurant. I asked most of them, Have you been to a restaurant? Like, no, I got to make sure I got enough money. So they won't go to restaurants anymore. They stop eating out altogether. Transportation, the gas, the maintenance on the cars, public transportation, other kind of transportation, anything to do with the transportation part of it. All these things, like 2 cars. A lot of them have 2 cars. You know, they got lots of gas for 2 cars. So they have you drive 1 car a lot and just wait, or they sell 1 car. Oh, by the way, when we talk about cars, either people buy brand new cars when they get ready to get out, or they'll buy no cars. And the reason behind that is when you try to buy a vehicle before you start getting ready to retire, you know, the car dealership know you got income. Once you start talking about you transitioning out the military, they're very leery about giving you a loan for that vehicle because they don't know how much money you're going to make. They don't know whether you're going to be able to pay for it or not. So that's why a lot of people buy houses and cars before they start transitioning out the military.
Wow.
I did that too. I know.
You make some good decisions.
I did that too. Yes. It paid off too. It paid off greatly. Now, personally, you're talking about haircut, going to the beauty salon. Yeah, they got to do that. Laundry, dry cleaning, other expenses like that. So anything like this, going to different clubs, joining clubs. Well, a lot of people try to do that. Get around people. Clothing, work, job, search clothes. Now, like suits, we have some businesses right now. It's called JP something. They give suits to veterans when they're trying to get out, so they can try to get you a head up on when you go out and do your interviews. So they try to do that kind of stuff for you. Child care, daycare, babysitters, school expenses, fees, allowances. See, all these things you got to think about putting in your financial plan, worksheet, budget, and at the Water Transition Battalion, the Soldier Family Assistance Center, we have a financial person there just for all these things I'm talking about right now. Her job is to help a service member see all this here, because one thing she told us is that we are in the finance problem. She's outside looking in, and they're inside just fighting for life. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't understand the difference between, you know, paying this bill or not paying this bill, doing this here, get rid of that. They don't understand that. But with her, she's a no-nonsense person. She's going to tell them the truth. And it really helped a lot of them. I had one came in my office, and they knew automatically they did not have enough money. They knew it.
Yeah.
So I said, let's go see her, and she will make up a budget plan with you all so y'all can talk to her face to face. And so, because she is on the outside looking in, they're in there just trying to survive.
Right.
So that's the difference. Then all your debts. Oh yeah, those credit cards, you know, loan payments, all those debts. You got to figure out which one you need, which one you don't need. Sundries, entertainment, newspaper, job search supplies, all these different things that you got to have when you start talking about getting out of the military. Okay, come on, let's see, it's gonna turn. Come on, you can do this. You can do this. Oh, there you go. Insurance, or medical, dental, because when you get out of the military, unless you have a medical, your disabilities, talk about your medical, your dental is usually something you have to pay for yourself. In this area right here, it's $91 a month for a family. So if you want dental in this area, you know that's $91 you got to pay every month. And then you got your personal life insurance, car insurance, house insurance, household insurance. It's got all these different things, insurance you got to still pay for. Oh, by the way, if you want the life insurance part of it, once you get out, we have called Service Group Life Insurance while you're in the military, which only costs about 50 cents a month. But once you get out of the military, it goes to Veterans Service Group Life Insurance, and once that hits, it costs about $200 a month. So the price went up a lot quick.
Wow.
So that's the difference in the different times of life insurance, because you got to make sure you got enough life insurance to take care of the family. Oh, and by the way, we have another thing that we have called, if you have a spouse, called survivors benefit plan. And what that does is you pay into that, you pay about between $100 and $300 a month. But what that does for the spouse, or the spouse got to sign saying she wants it or she don't want it. What that does for the spouse is if something happens to a service member before, we say in 10 years from now, something happens to that spouse, that's the widow would get about half to pay for the rest of her life. So she's really gonna have an income coming in.
Mm.
History. Here's what happened back in the day. That's why the spouse has to. That's why this widow has to sign for it. Have to say she wants it, she don't want it. Back in the day, it used to be the husband go in there and said, "All right, we got a survivor benefit. We have the survivor benefit plan, and you have to sign it so your wife can get money." And I listened to one of these soldiers say this, and he said, "I don't care if she getting money. I'm gonna be dead." Said just like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because they're looking at the $100 to $300 payment, and they don't, because remember, all men's plan on living at least to 120 years. You know that. So we ain't planning on dying no time soon.
Right. Oh God.
Well, that's how it works. Because if you think like that, then you don't think she's gonna need that money. So you just say we don't need that we don't need that.
Yeah.
So that's why I call it death. Anyway, you got your taxes, property taxes, income taxes, state and local taxes. You got school tax too. They don't have that on here. I know we got school taxes. We pay that for sure. Now the miscellaneous education, like saving, retirement, other things like that. Once we get done doing all this stuff here, we put out a total. We put out a total, all that add up, and then once the total come up, you say, "Man, I'm $400 in the hole already."
Jeez.
So now we got to figure. Yeah, most people, they always be in the hole. Because they don't think about all these things here. People don't think about all these different things. They think about some of them. The only ones the men think about is the house and the car. That's it. The rest of that stuff, they don't really worry about. They let the woman worry about most of that stuff. She'll figure it out. but then you add all that up, and then most of them be in the hole. And then we send them over to see Miss. Her name is Miss Joyce Harris, and then she'll help them out, do some kind of budget to fix that problem. So now, one thing that all soldiers must have when they get out of the military is e-benefit. Now, e-benefit is a program so that soldiers can do all the stuff on this list here, do a lot of things for themselves. Like I say, compensation. You apply for your disability compensation, and you can add your dependents to that compensation benefit. Because a lot of them don't add the dependent, but you can always put stuff in here. They want everybody to go to this electrical technology here because they want to make sure that if you need anything, it's right there. It's right at your fingertip. Everything, education benefit, 9/11 GI Bill, vote rehab, it's all right there. So then employment benefits, you call vet success, job search, and employment services. All these different agencies they got out there just to help the veteran, but everybody have to have one of these e-benefit account. Now, as long as you're in the military, you have e-benefit account, you use your common access card. That's our ID card. But once you get out, you got to have a username and a password. Okay. Going down to the bottom half, there's a compensation status. What that does is you can look online and see what's the status of your client, what you're applying for. It can say how much money you're getting. It can tell you everything about that. Oh, I got to pick up the pace. Hold on. Back. Hold on. Right here. There you go. It talks about all the things about your compensation, educated status. It told me when I had 9 months, 3 days left. It told me that. When I had 0 months, 0 days left, it told me that also. So you can always look in the system and like general status of anything you have to do with your appointments, when you want to go to see the VA. This is all connected to the VA. So you always see what you're doing when you got an appointment. Do 90 days at a shot. So if you got an appointment in 90 days, it will be on the calendar, and you just go in the e-benefit, you can see it. It'll tell you what time it's going to be, it'll tell you where it's at, everything. So now, yes ma'am. And the last thing, your insurance document, it talks about, later on, in the other part of the e-benefit, it talks about going back to school, My Health Vet. My Health Vet is another program that it has that if I go online, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can type something in here to your doctor. And the next day, or maybe that night, the doctor would reply to you. My doctor, I just email her, and she emailed me right back, or I called her, and she'll call me right back, because most times I just tell her I need more medicine. That's all I do. So she give me more medicine. so we're connected to, and that's one thing great about e-benefit, is that you connected to your doctor. It's not like they're somewhere out in the moon and you never know him. I know my doctor. I know Dr. Davis, just like you know, I see her all the time. And TRICARE Online is another good program that they have in e-benefit. And what it does is I can book my children's appointment, my grandkids' appointments right online. I don't have to call on the phone no more. Those days gone. See, so a lot of good stuff they be doing. Now, the career development system. Ma'am, any questions yet? Anybody got any questions?
There was, well, yes, there was one
Okay.
question from Jacqueline asking, in the transition from military work, is there anyone training to teach you how to answer questions such as the ones that might come up about stereotypes and, you know, what about PTSD and such?
Yes, ma'am. Normally, they call it equal employment opportunity. We have advisors out there to tell you that you do not supposed to answer those questions. They do not supposed to ask those questions. But soldiers know how honest they are. Remember, we go by loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. We will answer that question because we think that's the right thing to do. But we tell them, you don't supposed to answer that question because, just like you say, once I know you got a certain kind of thing, I don't need to mess with you. I can go find me a good, healthy person and play around with you.
Yeah.
So that will usually happen.
Okay.
Yep. So we tell them during the briefing that they start talking about anything about your medical condition. By the way, we have a Class A letter that's in e-benefit that all it says is you're 30% or greater disability. It don't say what your disabilities are. It's just saying you're 30% or greater, which that gives you 10-point preference for a job. That's all it does. So that's why they did it that way, because they don't want you to, just like I say, get them stereotype people out there that want to, first thing they want to do is knock you down.
Right.
All right. So now, yeah, this is the career development system part of it, and I want to go on with the Veteran Success Program, is that we get them into the Explore, Discover, Design, and the two documents that I know you know about, a lot of people might not know about, is putting in your modern resume and your career map into the system so somebody can look at it, and the last part is implementation, and you complete the whole system. Because this would take between, believe it or not, if it's done right, because what we do now is the way we're doing it, is we do the start and explore, because the start is looking at that 4 minutes and 54-second video. Then we do explore part of it, which we give them some homework, do the IE assessment in there. And after we get done doing that, we do one of those a week. So discover, design, because if we try to push them too fast, they won't get all the information. So we want to make sure they're getting the information to go with it. So that's why we take so long to do it that way. So it takes for us, about 2 weeks to get a person done.
So yeah, that's actually really not bad, thinking how long they've been out of work, right?
Right.
I know, I believe somebody was at our event that was out for a few years, and how long did it take him to get through with the career development system? Because I know he starts tomorrow.
That's right. He was working with me tomorrow. man, you just don't believe it. He didn't tell you half the story behind that, but okay.
Wow.
It took him a while because he really hadn't had a job. He tried one at HRC. It just didn't work out. He didn't like what they were doing there. So
Good. Good.
yes, ma'am.
You know, it's like I'm
Now,
so glad because one thing that we don't want anybody to do is stay in a position or at a company that they don't feel is part of who they are, right?
yes, ma'am. And the vet success purpose is to empower veterans to live a dynamic life, and that's what it's all about. And that's the first question I asked them, just like on that flyer I give out. Are you living a dynamic life? And most people say no, and say, what's the next step then? How are we going to make this happen? Then we start talking about it. And the mission is to empower veterans by helping them explore opportunities, to discover their passion, and design a dynamic life through customized learning, leadership, and service-based reach opportunities. Speaking of reach opportunities, just like we said during the conference, we have the Ride for Life, Sale for Right, and we have the Widow for Right. And the Widow for Right one, we're going to start taking a lot of pictures of the house so everybody can see what it looked like, and we'll start putting them on the website because they need to see how this group of veterans are going to come together and put this person's house back together. Because, yep, so when it starts on the 6th of December, that's the plan. I email all the people, so I still got them online. I thought everybody forgot about it by now, but they still haven't forgot about it. So I'm so excited everybody's still hanging in there.
That's right. So let me just share a little bit about that.
Yes,
They have several programs that are part of the charity division of Strategic Learning Alliance, which you may have heard about. And Veteran Success is one of them. And James has been working with the team of Veteran Success to help veterans go through the career development system so that they could get jobs, as well as introducing them to the opportunities to become a certified professional leader through the Strategic Learning Alliance and Seattle Pacific University. So it's been really great just watching everything unfold since, they first jumped into this venture this year, and to see the advances that have taken place and the successes and the things that have been accomplished has been very rewarding from this side of the table. I can only imagine for you, James.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So let's see. Now, this is coming from General Colin Powell, who was Secretary of State. He said, "There's no secret to success. It is a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." And he was the Joint Chief of Staff. He was the highest-ranking general in the Army, and then he became Secretary of State of the United States. So he's telling the truth: preparation, hard work, and learning from your failure. Because remember, if you don't try nothing, you can't fail.
Hey, that's good. You can't succeed either, can you?
That's right.
So,
and with that being said, ma'am, that was my last slide. Do I have any questions of anybody?
yes.
Yes.
Actually, Jacqueline was wondering if it's possible to get a copy of this PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, it's easy. I can send you on Skype in a few minutes. I can send it to you. Yeah, I send it to you.
Okay, so this would be, well, I'll put the slides to be accessible with the video when I put it into the video portion of the, I'm sorry, in the archived webinars, so you'll be able to have access to the slides there, Jacqueline. And then Joanne says it's definitely against the law to ask questions about health to any applicant, let alone a veteran. And she says, "Oh, great presentation. This information is very helpful. Thank you, James, and thank you for your service." Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And Jacqueline says, "Happy Veterans Day."
Thank you so much. Thank you all for your support of helping us and helping all the veterans around the world.
And Celeste, who was at our convention this weekend, says,
Yes.
"Way to go, James. Great job. Woohoo!"
Yes, ma'am.
And Carolyn says, "Great career choice. This is a much needed and a serious need for our military. You will be a great referral for us." Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks.
I got you, Barbara. I'm good to go.
Yes. Just honor, as I said, to have you here. Skip says this was a great information. So thank you all so much for joining us and for your really kind comments. And James, you did a great presentation, so I want to say thank you for all you've done for for all of us, because anytime you are in service to your country, you are absolutely in service to us all. So I want to say
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you so much, and happy Veterans Day, everybody, and we'll see you
Thank you,
next
ma'am.
Tuesday.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.